There's just something that does my soul good about getting up early in the morning, middle of summer, going out and finding muley bucks. There's nothing like it. I love it. It's about 5:30 a.m. August 11th. Work day. But I am headed out to find a mule deer that I have only got a glimpse of so far. A little bit behind. I should be there in 15 minutes, but couldn't get out of bed this morning, so probably going to be 20 minutes before I get there, but I think he's big. I'm pretty sure he's big. So hopefully this morning we get a better look at it.
Wish on every shooting star that you still come back to my heart. Can you see how we've come so far? Hope you still come back to my heart. Didn't mean to hurt you bad, only did those things so that I could make a little room for us. I wish on every shooting star that you still come back to my heart.
Well, it is hunting day, opening day eve. Like Christmas Eve, except better. And it is pretty much dark. It's 8:52. It's definitely well after legal light. You know, we're watching a couple bucks come out into this field, which they came out late. We could barely see them, but it has given us a new lease on life. The hunting season isn't a bust. So I'm getting that excited feeling all over again. Bring on the sunrise.
The look on your face told me we'd be alright. Walking down the sidewalk as we took a ride off a riverside drive.
Well, at 5:36 this morning, half an hour after we planned on getting up, Dan jumps out of his sleeping bag. The alarm didn't go off. And sure enough, I had set the alarm for 5 o'clock p.m. I was sleeping soundly, so we had an extremely hasty morning, throwing everything together, ripped out here. We got out on top basically about the time we wanted to, maybe 10 minutes later than we wanted to, but now we're just kind of glassing all the tops, trying to find some of the same deer that we saw last night, so it feels good, man. It feels right. I love it.
You look at this beam on his left, you're like, oh yeah. And his right keeps you guessing. I guess if you kill him, then you're done, right? Mule deer. Then you go focus on elk.
It's true.
It's been a hard year. Had a lot of dark nights. And we're still waiting on some daylight to reappear. Na 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 na. Smoke to clear. Na 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 na. I need a little sunshine.
Well, that big, beautiful typical just went over the hill here. So I'm looping way around to try to
see where he went. Hopefully I can find him. It's pretty thick in there where he went, so it could be tricky, but I was just thinking, you know, in the last year and a half or so, a lot of people have made a lot of sacrifices. They can't do what they want to do, whether that's their hobbies like this or even their work. And here I am, you know, making a move on a giant old typical mule deer, doing what I love. What a blessing. What a blessing. You know, regardless of how it turns out, the heart's already been pumping, and this is what I live for. This is what I love. And so being able to do this, you know, it's pretty special. So this year I'm trying to make a conscious and concerted effort to enjoy every little aspect of the hunt. And right now, I'm enjoying myself immensely. All right, enough talking. Let's go find this buck.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Covert Scouting Cameras, Vortex Optics, Old Smokes Coffee, Top Notch Taxidermy Studio, and the MD of Bonneville.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Deluxe Wall Tents, built in Canada for Canadian conditions. This segment of the show is brought to you by the MD of Bonneville. Lake adventures happen here.
Man, both of those deer would have been in trouble about 45 minutes ago, before I had seen Mr. Big Hairy Monster. Now I just gotta watch and see what they do. They're kind of in my way. I'm trying to loop around right now. Gotta keep an eye on them. I'm now looping this deer for the second time. I can't believe I found him. Just luck, just an absolute blessing that I found him. Come over the hill and the little buck is standing up. So I'm looking at him through the spotting scope. And behind the little buck, I see a tine. And it's him. So I'm gonna eat some lunch here. And drink some water. Then start making the final ascent.
Jeffrey slowly worked his way into position from above, but with the thick brushy cover, he couldn't see their antlers. He knew that buck was in there and was in a perfect position for when he stood up and fed out. But like what often happens when stalking a mule deer, one quick shift in the wind and it can end everything.
There he goes. You can't control the wind. You can do everything else, but you can't control the wind. Had a beautiful west wind blowing, supposed to pick up all day. But this coulee has such a stiff drop off that the wind would come over and roll up. And I was worried he was going to come running out of there, and that's exactly what he did. Then he came back a little bit. I just snuck over the hill. He was 60 yards. If he'd have waited another minute, and I let one go, but he's gone now. Shucks. Fun though. What a cool deer. What a beautiful, typical deer. Now to make my way back to my boots. There's a lot of cactus between me and my boots.
As September slowly drifted past, Jeffrey would spend his time chasing elk and moose while trying to get out as often as he could to chase muleys. But with a busy season and a full load at work, it wouldn't be until the middle of October before he would head back in search of the giant typical. He knew where this buck lived, but trying to pick him out of the thick brush seemed to be almost impossible. Toward the end of the season, Jeff started to slowly turn his attention towards other bucks and managed to stalk a few deer along the way.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Wood Wheaton Super Center, True Fire Releases, Victory Archery, Black Widow Innovations, Wapiti River Outdoors, and Federal Premium Ammunition.
This segment of the show is brought to you by Wood Wheaton Super Center, a proud supporter of our outdoor heritage.
I sat over these deer yesterday, basically all day, till 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and they were just completely unkillable. It was pouring rain, but that's okay. I mean, that's not the issue. The issue was they bedded all together on the edge of the river, pointing in every direction, and with the wind coming from the north, I racked my brain trying to think of every way to get close to those deer, and I don't think it was doable, which is crazy. I always say there's a way, but today the plan is I'm going to hop in my little $10 dinghy and tie my other $10 dinghy behind it, row across the river in the dark here where we are still well before legal light, and hopefully get to the spot where the deer are going to be before them. So that's the plan. Get there before they do. I've got Dallas going to be filming from the top on the other side, so we should have a unique perspective at the very least, and we'll see how it works. Back home we've got over 6 inches of snow. I mean, I'm no expert at judging what's more than 6 inches, believe me, but I'd say we have over 6 inches of snow. Here, almost none. So it must have just rained and rained, which is good. But it's cold. There's a wicked north wind, so we'll see what happens. Last day to get her done.
I'm looping around this buck right now. He's bedded in kind of a little knob in the middle of this flat sage. There's not much topography to use, so I've actually crawled up to this little, I guess, dip. I'm just catching my breath now. I've got a ways more to crawl. If I can get on the same ridge as him and sneak in from the side, I've got a chance.
With such little cover, Jeffrey decided to have Dan stay back and film from a wide angle because getting one person into position without being busted was going to be risky enough. But two people might have been almost impossible.
I hit him. He's quartering away. And it drifted to the right. But it might have got up in there.
Fatal Impact is proudly sponsored by Mad Ramps, Scree Gear, High Mountain Seasonings, Block Targets, iHunter, Glendale Targets, and Deluxe Wall Tents. This segment of Fatal Impact is brought to you by Tourism Saskatchewan.
Yeah, he's in bad shape. I think that BX2 must have done some damage because it was pumping out both sides. Right? So blood everywhere. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. A last day deer. First and foremost, I gotta thank Dan in Bosch, my good buddy. He called me and said, Jeff, there's a buck here. I got my heart set on another one, but if you want to come, I'll help you. I said, I'm on my way. We've done a lot of hunting together, and I don't know if we've ever killed anything together. That's what happens when we're so picky all the time. Well, this is not the biggest deer I've ever shot, but it might be the one I've worked the hardest for. Like, boy, we have tried a lot of different things to get a mule deer on the ground. And what a funky deer too, like, I love it. I don't know if these are the main beams or if we can count these and these are little curly droppers. It doesn't really matter. I am tickled pink. Made a terrible shot. I don't know if I just flinched or if the wind drifted or what it was. I hit him way back. But he was angled away, so it came out further forward, and boy, he was pouring blood. So the BX2 did a number on him. He only went less than 200 yards. Yeah, 100 yards. So bet it down. I'm more relieved than anything, honestly. I just feel like, oh my goodness. It finally happened. So many things can go wrong. A million things can go wrong. But you know what? All it takes is everything going right one time.